I am John Cipiti, the director. We are at Scott Frankfurt Studio and we're recording the score for the house that Rob built.
What I'm glad I learned early on was how important music is. I would never want to work on a movie where there wasn't a composer, and I wouldn't want to work on a movie unless it was with Grant Fonda. Well, I hate to use this pun, but it's a game changer. I mean, the story went from one that I loved the temp music. You know, I thought, wow, this is really coming to life, and that was exciting. And then you get in here, and you witness what we witnessed with the players, and how incredibly gifted they were, how gifted they are, and the vocals. I mean, those are gifts, and it's an important gift for film. It's one of the most important, I think.
A lot of people write melodies. A lot of people can, conduct and get it done. But when you talk about someone who has integrity as a person and then brings that heart to their job, which is tell that story with a level of commitment. He thinks about every single note. He thinks about every single bar. He thinks about every melody. He thinks about the space between the notes, which for me is what music actually is.
When you hear the musicians playing, it's this very surreal experience because you're watching something come to life that you knew existed in your head, and that somebody trusted you to try to flesh it out, but then they take it to an entirely new level because musicians as humans bring an entirely new level of emotion to an already emotional project. And so it heightens everything and really delivers that next level of depth and intensity and finesse that you can't achieve on your own. And I think it deepens that on an entirely new level because that now extends down to the people who are telling the subtext of the story and bringing that to life.
It's always so exciting when I get an email from Grant and it's like, all right, here, I had some, based on the ideas we talked about, here's what I thought. Because it's like you're meeting somebody new for the first time. Like this familiar idea of what you've had in the film to this new thing that's kind of been born. And I think the music goes from being just kind of temp and utilitarian in a lot of ways to starting to become that character. And then as that collaboration goes and sending notes back and receiving revisions, you see this new character forming. And it's one of my favorite parts of the process because it's really challenging and it pushes you a lot, but it's really beautiful and it just becomes so integrated in all you do. It's kind of hard to describe the feeling of hearing real musicians play your music because you hear the temp, which is all digital and samples, and then you're sitting in a room with a quartet and you're hearing it, but more than anything, you feel it. And it almost gives words to an idea that you've had. And that's the only way I can describe it because at the beginning of this process, we know the story we want to tell, but then when you see other people joining into that team, the players that come through the studio, Grant, Scott, Megan, everybody who's a part of this process, it's just unifying it more and more and more and raising the bar. And so when you hear the live players playing it, you just feel a new fingerprint, and it's really beautiful.
I mean, I'm a sucker for a good cello solo, but that might be the coolest thing I've heard all day. It's so unique. And also, I realized it being filmed as I said that.
Oh, yes,
Record show.